Okay, this is lesson 1-2, powers and exponents. And I'm going to review what we did today in class and then show you some examples that'll be on your homework that we didn't get to in class. The first thing that I want to review is if you have, for instance, 2 to the 4th power. 2 is the base and 4 would be what we would call the exponent. And if I wanted to write it in a different way, the way that it is now is called exponential form. But sometimes the directions will tell me to write it in standard form. And if I was going to do that, I would simply write 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. And then if I wanted to evaluate it, of course I would go, well, 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, and 8 times 2 is 16. So that's the terminology that we're going to be using. Now that we've reviewed that, let's do a few of the homework samples that you may be trying to do tonight at home. I picked number 34 to do first. Number 34, it says the directions are to write each product in exponential form. And it's got this written in the textbook. It's got 1 times 1 times 1. Well, if I want to write 1 times 1 times 1 in exponential form, I would make my base a 1, and then I would make my exponent however many times I multiply by 1. Here it would be 1, 2, and 3. So my exponent would be a 3. Now let's look at number 36. Number 36 is that's what's in the textbook. So my base would be a 4, and then I would count how many times 4 is multiplied by. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and my exponent would be a 7. Now let's do number 42. Number 42 in the book is use a calculator to determine whether each sentence is true or false. And then we have this. 3 to the 7th is greater than 7 to the 3rd. Well, you need to take your calculator and first you're going to put 3 to the 7th power. Well, the way that we do that is we go 3 and then we hit the Y to the X button, and I'm able to put in an exponent of 7. And then I hit equal, and it's going to calculate it. And it tells me that that has a value of 2,187. And I just like to write it under it, like that. And then I'm going to type in 7 to the 3rd power, or we could say 7 cubed. Remember that from our lesson. When it's to the 3rd power, we can say cubed. So I'm going to go 7, y to the x, 3, and I get 343. And then I need to decide if this is true or false. Well, it's true because 2,187 is larger than 343. So my answer would be true. Now let's do number 46. Number 46 says, it's the same type of question. 6 to the 3rd is less than 4 to the 4th. Well, again, I take my calculator and we always hit the clear button. Remember that. We want to start out fresh each time. And I'm going to hit 6 y to the x 3 equal, and I get, well, 6 cubed is 216. And then I'm going to clear my calculator again, and I'm going to go 4 y to the x 4, and 256 is what 4 to the 4th is. That's the value. Now that I've done that, it's very clear that this statement is also true, because 216 is smaller than 256. The last one I'm going to show you is number 50. Number 50, they give you this in the book. 5 to the 3rd, or 5 cubed, 4 to the 6th power, 2 to the 11th power, and 7 squared. Remember, when it's raised to the 2nd power, we can say it's squared. Now, they asked me to put these in order from smallest to largest, from least to greatest. So the first thing I need to do is understand what each value truly is. So I'm going to use my calculator again, and I'm going to clear it, and I'm going to go 5 y to the x 3, and I get 125. And I'm going to write that real small right there. I clear. Now I'm going to go 4 y to the x 6, and I get 4,096. I want to check that one. Yes, it's correct. Then 2 y to the x 11, and I get 2,048. And then 7 squared, I know without using my calculator, is 7 times 7, which is 49. So, when we look at this list of numbers, even though 7 is the largest base, it is the smallest number, isn't it? So, 7 squared would be first. And I always like to X them out as I use them. Then what would come next? The next smallest number would clearly be 5 cubed. Then, after that, 2 to the 11th power. And then finally, 4 to the 6th.